It's ups and downs in anything. Keep going, my nigga. It's better days. I damn near had to sacrifice everything. Keep going, my.
It's ups and downs and everything. TMG, your boy Mello. We back with another one. This is week 18, segment 18, depending how you're taking us in. Before I get started, make sure you like and subscribe to us on the YouTube. Make sure you follow us on the Instagram, the Twitter. Also listen to our audio style podcast on the Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Remember, please, we take stock of our athletes, see where they've been at in the last week, and also the organization, see who's rising, see who's falling for your newcomers. But with no further ado, let's get started. The number one, the first riser of the week has got to be that boy PJ Tucker. One of the toughest guys in basketball today, the most physical, arguably, pound for pound in basketball, 6'5" PJ Tucker. He's guarding the unicorn, the unicorn, not KP. KD, 6'11", 7-footer, with the skills of a guard. He's guarding him and he's doing it well. They're both, former Texas Longhorns at college, so they know each other. They were good friends off the court. They were drawing at each other. I believe in game 3 where, KD's bodyguard got suspended because he came onto the court to do a Mazzoline. I don't know why, but, he's just a mad guy, but that's a story for a different day. But PJ Tucker, he's a riser, which will surprise a few guys, but mainly because he's holding KD to 40% or less. In fact, less than 40% in the last 2 games, games 3 and 4. And the last time KD went 40%, or less than 40% rather, in consecutive playoff games was in 2018 against one Houston Rockets, where one PJ Tucker was playing and one PJ Tucker was guarding him and doing a great job. And when he gets up into KD, he makes it really physical, he's tough, pushing him off his spots. I mean, it doesn't, even though KD can shoot over, he makes it so tough, so hard, and the refs are letting him play, being physical, and PJ Tucker is taking mad advantage of that. I mean, in game 3, he helped to hold KD to 30 points of 28 shots, which is great for a defender. KD's arguably the most efficient scorer of all time. When you're score 30 points of 28 shots, you're doing a good job. But game 4 specifically, when PJ Tucker was the primary defender, KD was shooting 25% from the field, and he held him to 9 points. I believe it was 3 of 12. But also in game 4, PJ came through clutch. He worked for 13 points and 7 rebounds. That corner 3, PJ is one of the most lethal guys in the league from the corner 3. And he shot 50%, I think 3 of 6, if I remember correctly, in that game. And PJ done his thing, man. Wow, shout out PJ, man. He's known for his stout defense, his corner 3s, his sneaker collection. I'm a PJ guy. PJ can play for one of my teams any day of the week. But, still keep it in the basketball because, we're in the playoffs right now. I'm going CP3. CP3, one of the best little men to ever do it. I know. First, I'm going to start with a disclaimer, a message. As much as I love CP3, people need to talk. Because, the guy out here, Isaiah Thomas, IT, the original IT. People trying to say CP's better than him if he wins the chip. Oh, no, you got to win 2 chips, boy. IT, the original IT, the only guy to go through Jordan, Bird, and Magic. Then I sink him. There are 3 guys in anyone's top 10. Most people's top 7. The GOAT, another guy that's 3rd or 4th by most people's accounts. Another guy that's 6th, 7th, or 8th by most people's accounts. He went through them all. And with no other top 50 player on his team by your estimates. By your estimates, no other top 50 guy in his team. Even though he did have guys like Lambert and Sally and obviously Joe Dumas, top guys like that, but he didn't really have a Scottie Pippen, he didn't really have a Kareem, he didn't really have a James Worthy as a sidekick or Parrish or McHale. No, he didn't have those guys, but he's still doing his thing. But I digress. But yeah, they swept the Nuggets 4-0. And he showed the current MVP who actually the real MVP is. Because, I believe CP3 got overlooked because his numbers weren't that great. It was like 15 and 10 or something like that. Something around for the regular season. But it was overlooked. But he made a profound impact on the Suns. From where they were last season, even though they had a little run in a bubble, from where they were last season when they finished, they were out of the playoffs, to them being second in the West standings overall. They already knocked out the Lakers 4-2. And they're sweeping the Nuggets. And he's showing you why he's called the point guard, and showing you why he's the real MVP. In the series, he averaged 25, 5 and 10, 1.5 steals on 63, 75, and 100 shooting splits. That's crazy. It's well above 50, 49. Well above it. It's well above it, mate. Well above it, mate. Game 4, you had the icing on the cake. Wow. He didn't take his foot off the gas. He wanted that sweep. He wanted that rest. He's an older guy. He dropped 37, 3, 7, and 2 steals, shooting 74% from the field. He took no threes this game, but 100% from the free throw line. CP3, I tip my hat off my head to you, man. Wow. You're just straight balling, and he should have got more first place votes, MVP by, because he done his thing. And if he does end up winning this chip, he's going to rise up the rankings. In my opinion, he'll become a top 5 point guard definitively if he wins the chip, because he would have made such a profound impact. I'm still going to have Magic above him, still going to have Isaiah Thomas, still going to have Steph. I probably still have Oscar Robertson, but he'll probably rise above, he will rise above Stockton. If you want to class Iverson as a point guard, even though he's more of a shoot guard, rise above him, or rise above Nash if you want to contest that, and rise above Jason Kidd. You want to go a bit older, Bob Cousy, them guys, maybe, but, more than modern era, that's the guys who are definitely above. Shout out CP3. But, this will be my last one. Still keeping it basketball, because they've released a lot of awards recently. It's going to be controversial, because this guy's the MVP. 91%, not 91%, 91 out of 100 votes, the MVP. That's none other than Nikola Jokić, but he just got swept. But the reason I'm still going to keep him there as a rise, because, he was a second round pick. He was picked 41st. So not 41st drafted player in the series. Sorry, in the draft, I believe 5, 6 years ago. And he's the lowest drafted player to ever win the MVP by a landslide. I think before him was Giannis. Giannis was like a 15th pick. This is 41st. This is 26 places below. And boy, and he won it in a landslide. I mean, he played all 72 games. He averaged 26, 11, 8, a steal on a block a game, roughly. Shooting 57, 39, and 87 for the season, which is almost 50, 40, 90. Averaged 8.3 assists, the second highest from a center, behind only one, Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 8.6. I mean, he really did deserve it, especially because, this season's all about health and fitness, survival of the fittest. And boy, he proved that to be the case. And he deserved it, man. It's a shame he got swept, because his numbers did go down to 25, 13, 6, 1-on-1, apart from rebounds. And in this series, it's 48% from the field, 28% from free, 68% from the free throw line. But he was outmatched in the end. MPJ was a bit hurt. No Jamal Murray, and the Suns were rolling. But more onto the positive. He done his thing. I can't remember cap. He done his thing throughout the whole season, the regular season. The MVP. Shout out to him. He done, I believe, Serbian or Slovenian. I think he's Serbian. He done the Serbs proud. And showing that the Europeans are one of the last 3 MVPs. Giannis went back to back, and now Jokic. So shout out Yoke, big Yoke, the Joker. Shit. But from the risers we go to the fallers. And still keeping in within the Jokic theme, go to Nuggets. What y'all doing? Getting swept like that. You got your coach Malone calling you guys out after game 2, saying you guys packed it and you mailed it in. Absolutely smoked by the Suns. Average margin of loss 15.75, basic 16 points. So you weren't really in it. But you can't get us one game. At least make it somewhat interesting. And none of the games were close. Jamal Murray, yes, he was a huge miss, because Jamal Murray, when he comes to the playoffs, he turns up a notch. He goes up certain levels and becomes a baller, and becomes one of the best guards in the league. But he becomes like a top 5 guard in the league in the playoffs. But it's unfortunate. And Aaron Gordon kind of really shown us what he was and what he is. I mean, before he could have been like a very useful piece of guy, because on a bad team he puts up points. But in this team, they initially didn't need him to do much when Jamal Murray was on the court, but obviously Jamal Murray was injured. MPJ was still kind of young, injured as well, but we needed Aaron Gordon to step up and do something, but he wasn't really doing anything, apart from getting into scuffles with Jay Crowder. So, I mean, they got to look at themselves in the mirror. I mean, I want to see Ball get more minutes, but, he doesn't, but it is what it is. So the Nuggets organization, Denver Nuggets, and your home court advantage is supposed to be lethal, the high altitude. Boy, we're disappointed out here. But from the Nuggets, we go to Kyrie. Kyrie handles Mr. Handle, the best handles in all of basketball, slightly above my guy IT, the original IT. However, the more the relaxation of the rules, the laxing of the rules, they're able to do more with it, be able to palm a bit more, kind of carry a bit more. I believe, and the no hand checking. I believe Isaiah Thomas, if he played in today's era. See, Kyrie is like Isaiah Thomas without the leadership. That's what he basically is. And Isaiah Thomas ain't the smiley, cute little guy that everyone thinks he is. He was a rough rider, but he had leadership qualities, real leadership qualities, and Kyrie doesn't have those. Which is, but, in terms of everything else, yeah, Kyrie's like the modern day Isaiah Thomas. But, he went down with a sprained ankle, and his injury is kind of flipped the series on its head. Although James Harden is going to play today, or try to play today, unless he gets a setback and shoot around. But, with his ankle injury, it could be the end of the Nets playoff runs. I mean, his ankle actually touched the ground. He's going to be out for the rest of the series. Harden's already compromised. And he hasn't really been playing that well. He's shooting around 45%. Drew Holiday's been playing really good defense on him. He hasn't really got to the line if he's got like 2 free throws. But we'll see. But the injury is going to cause a massive infringement or impediment rather on how well the Nets could do in the playoffs, how far they can progress. So I have to wait and see what he does. And it's kind of sad. But him and Big Baby, they've been going at it with Big Baby's and getting at him because he's saying that's the same ankle he stepped on Lucky with. I don't know why they have so much affinity and affection to a mascot and a logo of the Celtics. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But yeah, basketball, we go to full finally. Barcelona. The arrogance is costing them daily. They're already billions in debt, or at least $1 billion in debt. And they talk too much. They kind of did what the Bucks did with Bogdanović, and they thought they signed him, but they assumed they signed him, start talking, and the deal went void. They couldn't keep their mouth shut. They couldn't keep Pim. They just couldn't keep Pim. But the boasted that they're signing Genie on a lesser wage packet than currently he's getting at Liverpool, or he was getting at Liverpool before PSG swooped in, like a thief in the night. They were stolen a lot. That's what Genie came out and said. Allow PSG to swoop in and offer him a bigger contract. I mean, PSG offering 165k a week, or 8.6 million a year annually. I mean, he secured the bag, but what Barcelona doing? Barcelona, they can't be afforded to miss out on these players. I mean, the attraction of Paul playing with Messi and all those guys and playing with Barcelona is not the same. Barcelona nowhere near it. I believe Koeman was an attraction, but I don't think Koeman's even going to be there. Because reports a few weeks ago said that he's 99% done. So I don't know what's going on here. PSG also just signed on the rumor, so PSG they're making big moves. And to be fair, he needs a type of midfielder they need. They need a midfielder that can progress the ball and be more advanced and potentially get some goals and assists. Genie at Liverpool, his numbers weren't that great, but Genie, he does have the ability to do that. It's just he does it more for the Netherlands. And because PSG's midfielders, Verratti, Paredes, Herrera, and I think Danilo, all those type of guys, Gay, they're nice, combative guys, but they don't really push you over the edge. They don't really take the ball from A to B, get into the box and become a goal threat. And that's what PSG lack. The midfield didn't even offer anything of that nature. I don't think Genie can fill the void. But Barcelona, thumbs down, man. What are you guys doing? Thumbs down. Like, real G's move silent like Lazan. Word out to the poet that is Lil Wayne. Or real gangsters move in silence. I don't know what they're doing, but it is what it is. But it's your boy Mello, TMG, Rising Fullers. It's been lit, it's been trill, but we out.